It's an issue that Greg Merrill wants to tackle, reducing the risk of traumatic brain injury in sports. This Montgomery County native is the founder of Sentry, a Bethesda-based company that has developed a helmet-mounted device that alerts when an athlete has taken a potentially dangerous hit.
There's been a lot of attention around the concussion issue. And when I was really starting to look at what's happening with concussion, I recognized that we are so dependent on these children acknowledging that they're experiencing signs or symptoms. And that's how we decide which children need to be assessed. And we know that it's just not human nature, particularly if you're an athlete and you're competitive. You don't want to take yourself out of the game. So what I thought was we need to have some kind of way of determining which children have been exposed to risk factors for brain injury. That is either hard hits to the head or frequent hits to the head.
The Sentry sensor serves as another set of eyes for coaches and trainers in identifying players who need to be assessed for concussions. The sensor attaches to the back of the helmet, and when an athlete takes a hit strong enough to cause a concussion, a red light illuminates.
The red light comes on. Doesn't mean the child has a concussion. It's not a diagnostic tool. It's saying the child has been exposed to a risk factor for brain injury. And so now a child with that red light on the back of their helmet needs to be observed to see if they have any signs or symptoms of a brain injury. The red light on the sidelines can be reset with a simple push of the button.
Sentry is Merrill's third startup company. First, this graduate of Richard Montgomery High School and McDaniel College started a company that specialized in computer-based training for surgeries. He sold that business and walked away with $12 million. He then went on to develop technology to get kids to be physically active while playing video games. Just as that business was about to take off, the economy tanked. In 2008, when Merrill came up with the idea for Sentry, he took the ball and ran with it.
Generally, the response has been extremely positive. People say, this is a great idea. We need this. We're having a serious issue with concussions. We want to address this somehow. The missing link has been this beginning part of concussion management, which is determining which athletes need to be assessed.
Another important function provided by the Sentry sensors is that it helps coaches identify players who are using techniques that involve excessive head-helmet contact. Merrill says one of the biggest risks for brain injury is frequent head impacts.
The other function that the sensor has is that not only does it alert to the really hard hits, but it also counts the subconcussive hits. So the two big risk factors for brain injury are getting hit hard in the head and getting hit in the head often. You push the button, it'll show how many impacts this player's experienced for the day, for the week, for the year, and how many have been at the alert level. And we can see that if a child has an unusually high number of subconcussive hits relative to their peers in similar positions on the field, maybe the coach needs to spend a little bit more time working with that child to get them not to be using their head so much while they're tackling or blocking or hitting.
More than 50% of brain trauma in football happens during practice, and Merrill says that it's the second impact that can be fatal.
I understand that there are some inspirations here at Sentry that you guys pass by every day.
On the wall at the offices of Sentry are pictures of athletes who have died as a result of a concussion.
The children on this wall have all been severely injured or have been killed when they played after they'd already been experienced a concussion.
One of those pictures belongs to Derek Sheely.
We've become friends with the Sheelys from Montgomery County. Derek Sheely was at Frostburg playing football and experienced a second impact, which he never recovered from.
It's young athletes' reluctance to self-report after getting hit that makes Merrill's device so marketable. He says the number of deaths from sports-related head trauma are on the rise, pointing to the possibility that kids are staying in the game when they should be on the sidelines.
The kids know that if they admit that they're experiencing a sign or a symptom of concussion, they know they're out. So they're less likely to acknowledge it, and that puts them at more risk for injury. And I think that might be why in 2014 and in 2013, we saw the greatest number of deaths from second impacts playing football than in the previous history. Every one of these tragedies, we hope that in success, Sentry will slow down or stop the placement of these children on this wall.
It's only been 1 year since the sensors hit the market, and already there are tens of thousands of them in use. They cost about $75 each and are powered by 2 lithium batteries that last 1 year. The company is small, just 7 employees, and it is just on the cusp of making a profit.
I believe Brain Sentry is going to be a home run hit, and I'm doing everything I can to make it go personally, putting in whatever resources I can. We're also very fortunate to be in Montgomery County, Maryland, where the Montgomery County Department of Economic Development has helped us out with grants. The state of Maryland has also helped us out with financing through the Invest Maryland program and through other programs at TEDCO through economic development. So we're very fortunate to be here in Montgomery County, Maryland.